Hi, I'm Margie from Marjorie's Candies, and I'm going to make a pumpkin, actually it's not a pumpkin pie. I've been having trouble finding pumpkin on the shelf these days, so I decided to make a sweet potato pie. So it's basically the same recipe, only you want to use 2 cups of sweet potatoes mashed. I just took the sweet potatoes out of the oven for the sweet potato pie that I'm making. And when you make a sweet potato, all you do is you want ones that are pretty much the same size, and that way they'll cook more evenly. And you can you wash them, and I prick them with a fork a little bit so they don't puff up and explode. And I put them in the oven on 350, and I bake them for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. And when you should just go like this with them, and you feel that they're cooked. You can tell that they're cooked through. Now when you take them out, you can just poke a hole in them. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I can actually just cut. I just want them to cool off for the so we can take the sweet potato out for the pie. Okay. We'll let it cool a little bit. Now let's let it sit for a little bit, and then we'll be back. I have my pie crust already made, and rolled out in my pie pan. And what I need to do, this is an egg white. Just going to beat it a little bit to thin it out. And I have a recipe on YouTube. I'm adding a little bit of water to it, about a tablespoon. And a little brush. What you want to do is just brush your pie crust in and out, all around, with this egg white. And then before you fill it, you'll just let this sit for a little while. Now that makes a little seal to keep the filling from seeping into the crust while it's baking, because it bakes for 1 hour. So you brush it with a little egg white and then let it dry. So what I've done is, and you'll see that I have baked these sweet potatoes, and I'm just going to mash them all up and just use 2 cups of it because I'll have extra. That's okay. But you want to mash it up very well. And actually, these are yams. They're not sweet potatoes. If you were using a yam that would be lighter in color, okay. These were very nice sweet potatoes. I thought they cooked down very nicely. Let me move this aside so I can do a little more mashing. You really do want it to be very mashed. You don't want any stringy or clumpies in there. But you can use 2 cups of pumpkin instead of sweet potatoes. And what's left over I can eat for dinner. Okay. Now you see I have the skins off there. I skinned them. Okay, so we'll get a nice 2 cups of pumpkin. I keep saying pumpkin, but they're yams. Okay, there's nice 2 cups. A little for good luck. Okay, we'll get rid of this. Okay, now I'm going to get a larger bowl because I add that in last. And you've got 2 eggs here. Let me put a little wet towel down. It doesn't slide. This is 2 eggs. And then I have spices here. I'm going to write this up, but I just have ginger, allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, salt, and a little bit of maple syrup there. But I also have maple syrup here. And sugar. Okay, so I'm just going to beat this for a moment and get it nice and a little bit thick. I could easily do this in the mixer. now I'm just unmixing it now that I turned it around, unscrewing it. This is what helps it rise a little bit, but it doesn't have to really rise. It'll just make it a little lighter. So it's getting a little bit of lemon color. Okay, we'll add the spices and the salt and the sugar. Not too much sugar in it because we have maple syrup. This is real maple. Okay, you don't want it to be too sweet. And then we have, and don't forget, I put it over here. This is 1 cup of evaporated milk. And then we'll put in I keep calling them the wrong thing. I guess they are yams. Because if they were sweet potatoes, they'd be lighter, right? So we're just going to blend that in. Last year I had trouble finding pumpkin on the shelf. So if you see pumpkin this year and you want to make a pumpkin pie, buy it as soon as you see it. That's something to do with the freeze or something. Okay. I'm going to add, if I can find it, just a little bit more of, I'll show you, it'll just be just 1/4 cup. I'm just going to add like another 2 tablespoons of evaporated milk. And now let me get rid of all these things. Bring over our pie crust, which I've already made. And this, we put that egg wash on it. Okay, I'm just going to pour this in. Sweet potato pies have a tendency to be a little bit heavier, just a teeny bit heavier than a pumpkin pie. I tried to help that by adding a little bit more milk, but I'm not sure you can really avoid it. But, you know, they have to have their own personalities. Okay, now I have a little cover that I put over my pie, and I'm just going to go around. It's going to, because of the egg in it, it's going to raise a little bit, so try to put the center pointing up a little bit. Otherwise, if it touches it, I did spray it with a little oil. That helps. But if it raises up and touches it later on, it might be hard to take it off. Okay, so my grills are in the center. My racks are in the center. And we're going to cook that for 30 minutes at, let me see, my recipe. 30 minutes at 400, okay. And then another 30 minutes, I'm going to lower the temperature. Okay, so we'll be back